commenter asked, so I'll cover Adrenaline Junkie a little more in depth and explain a bug with it. First, let's look at what the wiki has to say about it. A 10% move speed increase for walking in combat stance is a relevant part. Now I'll start out with the qualifier that a 10% increase on something as slow as combat stance is going to be pretty irrelevant, but I'll test it anyway. So I'll set my nimble to level 5, which will make me almost the same speed as the zombie, and start walking away from one in combat stance. This test is without Adrenaline Junkie, and I'll zoom in so it's easier to see. I am going ever so slightly faster than the zombie, but the position of my mouse is highly important here. If I move it ever so slightly off course, my character will slow down due to strafing. As you can see, with the mouse off course, I'm now slightly slower than the zombie. This is the mechanic I'll use to show whether Adrenaline Junkie increases combat stance speed, as that tiny difference in speed would surely be mitigated by the 10% increase. Here I am doing the same test, but this time I have Adrenaline Junkie and Agoraphobic to keep me at max panic. I'll zoom in and do the same tests with the mouse position. Once again, I'm slightly faster than the zombie. Now I'll move the mouse off course, and as you'll see over the next couple seconds, the zombie is gaining on me. I think we can agree that even if Adrenaline Junkie is increasing combat stance speed by 10%, it's such a small increase that it's not relevant in any way. Next, I'll quickly cover walking speed and move into the bug. Here I have Adrenaline Junkie on the left and the control on the right. Now I'm pretty sure most people agree Adrenaline Junkie works on walking speed, but I lined these two clips up as close as I can. I'm using the increased perception radius from keen hearing to mark distance, so when the zombie starts fading out is a measure of walking speed. Some speed walking later, and I'm willing to believe that Adrenaline Junkie did increase the walking speed by 10%. Not amazing, but that would cut off a lot of walking time in the long run. While researching for this video, I found a video of a guy proving Adrenaline Junkie increases combat stance speed by a huge amount. He starts outside a house strafing around, then goes inside, fast forwards to lose the panic, and then strafes around but much slower. I was wondering how he uncovered such a massive difference compared to me when I noticed he was extremely overweight. So nice try S2, but your test is flawed. That's okay though, because you discovered an amazing bug. I put the link in the description, so all of you need to go over there and give him some likes. I'll recreate his test, but take it one extra step. First, I'm in combat stance strafing outside with Adrenaline Junkie, Agoraphobic, and extremely overweight. I am indeed going full speed. Now I'll remove Adrenaline Junkie and Agoraphobic, as well as fast forward time to lose this panic. Combat stance around a bit, and yep, going way slower than just 10%. Now here's where S2 went wrong. Next, I'll drop these planks and combat stance around, and look at that, back to full speed again. Adrenaline Junkie wasn't making combat stance faster. Instead, being extremely overweight was making combat stance slower. That's the bug. Extremely overweight makes you much slower than 10%, yet Adrenaline Junkie completely counteracts that debuff. That makes Adrenaline Junkie a lot more valuable than it initially appears to be. Now, being a man of science, I should test whether the bug also applies to walking, running, and sprinting. To be honest, that seems like way too much effort.